Hi guys, James here again. This is my third video for today and it's taking a lot longer than I expected to unpack and repack and all this sort of stuff. So I'm on to my infantry collection. So currently I am up to almost 2 full companies of the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders. So these are for the 7th Battalion, Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, who are part of 154 Brigade, 51st Highland Division, and at this point when I'm modelling them they're under control of 2nd Canadian Corps. So I've got A Company here and B Company on the right. I'm say almost finished as I'm missing sniper teams and a carrier to paint for the HQ section and stuff. I've also, you'll notice that some of the basing's more up to date than the others, specifically the 3 on the right and the 1 in the back left. I've started repainting as the old scheme I wasn't too happy with and the basing needed updating and stuff, so I've been working my way through that. I'm going to pause that just now. The plan is to paint one more full company of the infantry, and that will give me 3 rifle companies and support company, which I'll show you in a second. For Operation Totalise, the Highland, the particular battalion I'm doing, which is the 7th Battalion, Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, it was reduced from 4 rifle companies to 3, and basically they used the replacements from the disbanded company, which I think was C Company that was disbanded, but they used the replacements that they gained from this to bring the other companies up to strength to have 8 men per section or 8 men per squad. So it just shows you that they disbanded a full company in order to try and get not up to the full complement of 10 men per squad, but to get at least 8 men per squad. So if I do one more rifle company and along with support company, I'll actually have painted the full battalion, which is my aim. So at the back here you'll see they are defrocked priests, which is enough for one full company. I've got enough models to do the other companies, I just need to paint them, which will be in the pile to do at some point. So the command units have got pipers. The one here's got a piper in a kilt, whereas the chap over here's got a piper in battle dress. And that model would be very much thanks to Mark over at House of Hengist, who provided that to me a while ago. I've got one more to do. I took time to convert some of these. Sorry, the light's fading here, so you might not be able to tell, but I do have chaps with the Scottish headdress on, the tam o' shanters, where I used models with berets, the 7th Armoured Infantry and the Commandos, and basically added a bauble onto the top and made them into tam o' shanters. So I've got them mixed throughout these new style units, and the plan is these 2 platoons here will get upgraded at some point, but I think the priority will be getting the 3rd company rather than repainting models I've already got paint on. So over to this side then, mind my fingers in front of the camera again. This side, what we have is basically S Company. So this is more or less the full S Company, the support company for the battalion. The S Company, from my reading recently, the S Company was the biggest company in the battalion, and it tended to gather the kind of older soldiers and the more experienced soldiers due to the kind of specialist nature and the way that it was seen as being safer than the rifle companies. So what I've got over here is the 6 tube mortar battery, mortar platoon, with their transports and spotters. Again, this was set up for 3rd edition, so I'm not going to need as many spotters, but I painted them so they're there. Then I have the anti-tank platoon with 6 6-pounders and their transports. As I mentioned in one of the other videos, I'm really tempted to arrange these so that they're being towed. I think Skytrex do limbered models, so I'm investigating that as an option. I've got the Pioneer platoon here at the front. I've found out recently that they shouldn't have a truck, they should have a half track, which is what I did for them originally, but I'm not sure whether I'm going to change it. They should also have another Jeep. I had actually painted another Pioneer platoon, because I wasn't entirely sure where the Pioneers fitted into the battalion structure, but as it turns out they were part of S Company and there only was one platoon, so the other platoon has been used to bulk out my Royal Engineers. At the back I've got the carrier patrols. There was 12 carriers in the support company. I think there was actually 13. There would have been one for the commander as well. As you can see, these guys have got, each squad of 3 has got a 50 cal, 2 Brens and a Piat. I'm actually again looking at options to have these dismounted. I'm not entirely sure whether I would just do 3 teams of 3 men each with Brens and make them machine gun teams basically, because they do seem to have fought dismounted. The carrier was very much a transport vehicle rather than a fighting vehicle. I read on the Flames of War forums recently a discussion with the designers who were saying that they view these vehicles as being basically that they would drive up, the troops would disembark, they would fight, they would remount and move on again. But I'm tempted, because of the big scenario games I'm running, to actually paint up some models and have them dismounted. Over here I have dismounted vehicle crews, which I use instead of bailed out markers for my various tanks and stuff. Sweeping over to the other side, I've got spare Piat and mortar teams, again from when I painted the stuff previously under a PDF, and then the army book came out and changed it. So they're currently spare, but I might find a use for them in the future. I've got engineers. These are old, mainly old style models, old Battlefront models. So I've got guys with sweepers, sweeping for mines, guys with Bangalore torpedoes and stuff. So this is actually just an engineering platoon. As I mentioned earlier about the Pioneers, I mucked up with that, so I've included them, which is why it's an odd number. Over here we have my medical assets. I'm actually working on a first aid post just now that's in the painting queue, but in the meantime I've got these guys, which are all part of the Highland division. They were 176 field ambulances, who I've decaled them up as. So I've got a half-track ambulance, Austin ambulance, which I think is a Katie, famous from Ice Cold and Alex, and then I've got an ambulance jeep, and I've also done some medic teams, again useful for battle group, but really just useful for the big scenario games I'm doing. I can find special rules for them and include them in somehow. Next to them I have a replenishment truck, which is actually for my one of my armoured squadrons, but I forgot to include it in the picture, so I've included it here. A spare truck at the back that needs some more work done on it. I'm not entirely sure what my plan was for that. And then I've got my MP Jeep, which is the Provost company for the Highland division. And at the front of them I've got a little wire team, which again is a battle group unit. At the back I've got my one Typhoon. I'm currently painting another 2 of these up, just to have a 3 flight unit. Then I've got armoured cars for the Derbyshire Yeomanry. The rest of these I've still got to build. I'm contemplating changing these out because they should actually be Humber armoured cars rather than Daimler armoured cars. But I'll think about that. And the Humber LRCs. And then here we have the 1/7th Battalion Middlesex Regiment, and I've got 4.2 inch mortars, Vickers machine guns for them, along with the carriers at the back, and then I've got some Wasps, who the Middlesex also operated for the Highland division. So I've got another unit of Vickers to do, and I actually have the models to do another unit of the 4.2 inch mortars, but I'll possibly do them for the Poles rather than the Highland division. So that's a whole lot. I'll pause there and change my view a little bit. Light's slightly better from this angle as well. So that's all my infantry. So you can really see, if you've watched my other 2 videos, that the whole lot isn't going to fit on this table anymore, which is impressive in and of itself. The amount of painting I'm doing really comes down to the Miniature Modelling Mayhem Painting Chats, which is a Google Hangout that we have, a community hangout that people can go on, and we basically sit and talk hobby, talk military history, paint up our models while we're doing it. It's amazing, really, really is amazing how much you can get done when you're distracted by a conversation. So all the little fiddly jobs like cleaning, mould lines and filing and basing and stuff, it just goes so quickly when you're not actually paying, you're paying attention, but you're having a conversation with people, like-minded individuals. Really, it's not for everyone. I know some people find the idea of talking while you're on a kind of hangout or a video chat to be, painting while you're doing that to be really odd, but it really does work. There's links to some of our painting chats that we've recorded that you can see what we get up to, what we talk about, and we're always happy to have new people join us. So this is the full 2 companies, soon to be 3 companies, support company. So there's 3 companies, soon to be 4 companies, plus the support. I've still got a mechanised recce list to do. I've got the Humbers for it. I've got Staghounds to do a Canadian recce list. I've got the Canadian tanks to do. I've got plans to do a Canadian company of infantry at least, a Polish company of infantry. I've got all the defrocked priests to do. I'm thinking about limbered 6-pounders. I've got a whole load of this army, which was the first army I painted, that I would really like to upgrade. So basically the bases you see that don't have flowers on them, the Vickers transport, these 2 infantry platoons, the Pioneers, the anti-tank guns, I really want to upgrade all of them, just touch up the painting, get them to a higher standard, get the basing up to the same standard, and then I'll be happy, and then no doubt I'll want to start again. So that's me for now, folks. So check us out, Miniatures Modelling Mayhem, or Miniature Modelling Mayhem. You can find us on Facebook, on Google+. Check out my blog for still pictures of all this lot and some more details about the actual units themselves. And thanks for watching.